How's it going there, everyone? It's Mr. Zen over here bringing you guys a brand new anime discussion. And for today's anime, guys, we are going to be looking at a brand new anime this fall 2016. And this anime was recommended by Happy Fun Times, a disqus user. And by the way, shout out to you, Happy Fun Times, for recommending me this anime, because this anime is definitely worth to watch this fall 2016, guys. This anime, produced by Studio Lerche. This anime is called Mahou Shoujo Ikusei Keikaku, guys, or as they like to say, Magical Girl Raising Project. And this anime, guys, I have to say, is very, very, very interesting, guys. Very interesting, as this anime was marketed towards little children, the way that the art style was actually introduced. But a closer look at the summary, you actually start noticing that there are darker themes involved inside this anime, guys. And I have to say, granted, this anime really is rated R, guys. I personally don't think it's meant for children due to the fact that the explicit content that they show in this anime and some of the comic relief parts that they kind of show in the anime as well is not specifically meant for children to at least watch. At least you gotta be at least 18 or at least 16 and older. I mean, come on. Some of the stuff that they kind of show is pretty strong, guys. But like I said, though, let's get on with this, guys, to this discussion, as this review, guys, is actually going to be episodes 1 through 4, guys. Yes, so there's going to be lots to talk about in this anime, guys. So, without further ado, guys, let's get started. Now, episode 1 is actually the introduction and character exposition of majority of the characters and the universe itself, guys, as we are looked at the main character Koyoki Himekawa, as she actually wants to become a magical girl herself based on the game that she's always playing, because of her fact that she's been actually looking at these blog posts throughout the internet that says that there are magical girls outside in the city itself helping people out, and she's so wondering that I want to become a magical girl just like them, and I want to be very popular and very, you know, like someone with superpowers, basically. I'm guessing she hates her life because of that reason. Interesting. Like most people do. Interesting. But we actually look at Koyoki, and then we start noticing that the game itself, guys, the game itself comes to life and actually talks to Koyoki and says, would you like to become a magical girl? And of course, as many main characters say, they always say yes, without knowing what the repercussions are of becoming somebody enticed with magical powers, guys. Without knowing. But granted, though, she says yes. And because it's her childlike dream to become a magical girl, the game itself granted that wish, and she becomes someone that is able to hear the thoughts of everyone around her. And like I said, that's a very interesting power in itself, guys. But I like the way that they kind of did the character transformations to become a magical girl. Very sci-fi, but mixed in with Sailor Moon-esque, you could say, animation. Because the way she transforms is basically kind of like a Hooters girl, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. The way I saw this girl was like, you have so much makeup on, you have so much kind of like lecherous clothing, you kind of say. I'm like, who are you trying to attract? I don't think a superhero in your childlike manner should be wearing these kind of clothings. But who am I to judge? I'm no fashion designer, guys. Who am I to judge? But like I said, though, guys, that's episode 1 that starts introducing the world itself. And basically, there are these magical girls that help out these people, and they gain magical candies by the in-game itself. Kind of like how the game itself really is, just that it's bringing the game outside to real life. And these girls are basically super powered by the game itself, that they're able to do superhuman feats in the city itself, as to jumping super far, raising a bus, you know, like just etc., doing these kind of stuff. But the thing about the game itself, guys, is that when they get magical candies, it's kind of based off a popularity contest, and we actually look at the fact that there are other magical girls themselves, and these other magical girls are introduced to the main character, and the main character is very happy at the fact that she's also introduced to these other magical girls, because these other magical girls are in the same position as her. Granted, though, in episode 1, it starts introducing more and more of each of the characters. We're introduced to Topple and Robs and Ripple, Topsy, and Ripple, and these characters are, you know, they're their own separate thing. But the one character that I found very hilarious was La Pucelle in episode 1, and oh my god, oh my god, this character is a male, folks. Yes, this character is a male in the disguise of a female. Yeah, chew on that, folks. Chew on that. the guy sacrificed his penis in order to get magical powers. And I thought to myself, that is freaking hilarious. I would never do that. I wouldn't. Not for the love of God. I love my human anatomy, so no. Not going down that dark route that he took. Yeesh. But like I said though, this anime is very dark due to the fact that the character Fave, the in-game character itself, is actually luring these people in order to become magical girls. And granted though, you're actually looking at it and you're thinking, is the game itself the evil villain of the story? I'm not lying to you guys. I personally feel like the Fave is a major villain of the whole story itself, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It really is. But they're vague about Fave too. They're vague, and his dialogue is very ambiguous when it comes to talking to each of the magical girls, as if the magical girls look up to Fave as a god of the magical girls. So they're wondering, they're basically at Fave's bidding because Fave is the one in control of them. Like I said though, it's very one-sided with Fave. You know, Fave is giving these orders out for them and they obey. So it kind of goes on to say they're kind of like slaves when you first look at it. It's interesting, like I said, it's very interesting at how this anime is turning out. Now, episode, like I said, episode was introduction, and we also introduced to a character named Nemu, who is basically another magical girl. In episode 2, we start learning more and more about each of the other magical girls, guys. Yes, episode 2 starts then becoming about Ripple and Top Speed. And Ripple and Top Speed, guys, oh my god, these characters are really cool. I like these two characters. Their interactions with each other, the dialogue that they put out each other, it's very fun and lighthearted. But I love the way that Ripple's character is introduced in episode 2 due to the fact that Ripple's mother and father are not always around Ripple, and due to the case in how she became a magical girl. Like I said, Fave, the in-game character, is using the girls' insecurities in order to trap them in the magical girl universe. It's very, very dark as in the way that the character Fave is doing this. It's as if he's purposely picking them out due to personalities, which, by the way, their personalities does base against their powers too, guys. Though I was looking at it, and it is true, because Koyoki loves to help people out, and she wants to be able to hear everybody's thoughts. She's able to get that much power. Ripple, she's able to hit her targets, and she's basically like a tsundere, you know, like a Japanese term for someone who grows gradually over time and becomes affectionate towards somebody. And so loving the way that they kind of go with that character. And the character is still mysterious too, so they don't really introduce too much about her, but they showcase her actual, you could say, her family relationship within her own turmoil and dilemmas within her own self. Like I said, it's very interesting. Top Speed, they didn't really introduce too much about her, but they gave a little bit of explanation as to why she's mentoring Ripple. And that's due to the fact that Calamity Mary was around. And Calamity Mary is another magical girl who's actually a main antagonist of the magical girls within the universe, the way they introduce her to. But so far they don't really go off to say more about her, but she is the outlaw of the magical girls. Granted though, she's kind of like a gunslinging girl, but that's all we get off of her though. I wish they introduced more about her, as to say why and what she's doing in order to make the magical girls fear her, but no. But it's basically due to her abstract nature of not following the rules. But that's about it though. Granted though, in episode 2, we learned that Fave, like I said, it's back to Fave, guys. It always comes back to Fave. Fave then mentions that since there's too many magical girls, he has to start reducing the numbers down to size. And we're all wondering, what? That does not make any sense at all. That doesn't make any sense at all. Like, Fave, you're the one that's bringing the girls in, but yet, this is off his own dialogue. He said, I miscalculated. Like I said, Fave literally sounds like the main antagonist of the whole universe itself. Not the magical girls, but the whole universe itself. It's just going to say, when someone has too much power, they get corrupt. And Fave seems like a very corrupt villain, guys. Very, very corrupt. And like I said though, and by that that's where the story starts transitioning to its dark motives that it actually wants to employ on the viewer itself, guys. And that's basically what's going on. Fave wants to cut the number of magical girls in half because of the magical energy that these girls they collect is gonna take all the way from the land, and that means bad for business, apparently. But apparently, one of the characters named Nemu, very lazy, and which, by the way, Nemu was one of my favorite characters out of all of them because of the fact that she had the most powerful ability in the Magical Girl universe, guys. She was able to enter dreams of other people and actually fight villains in there. And I'm thinking to myself, that is a very powerful ability. You could go in the dream and kill them. Granted, if she can. Not too sure, but I still consider that a very powerful ability, guys. Very powerful due to the fact that you could hurt them in their dreams. And you can psychologically traumatize somebody in that certain sense, guys. Like I said, it's very interesting as to how Nemu's character went. Because for a fact that we are actually looking at Nemu actually dies in this episode, guys. The first death is introduced, and Nemu dies, which leads on to the character progression and exposition for the rest of the cast, guys. Because once Nemu dies, then we start learning that the game itself did not come with that warranty. It didn't explain that you're gonna die if you become a magical girl. It's very interesting, guys. Very interesting. Nemu dies, but she died loving what she loved. It's interesting. Which then moves on to episode 3, guys. Episode 3. My god. My freaking god. In episode 3, we are then learned that the girls learned the truth as to why Nemu died. And Nemu died, guys, because of the fact that the game is saying that in order for the magical girls to exist, like I said before, they need to get a lot of energy, and because the girls are so overpowered that death is the only option in order to get out the system. And I'm here thinking, that is some seriously messed up stuff there, man. There is literally an ultimatum that if they choose to be a magical girl, they don't have the option to get out then. And the only option to get out is basically death itself. That is seriously messed up. There is no way getting around that kind of thing right there, man. That is seriously messed up. And the girls learn the truth that basically what they're doing then becomes literally and something that they can't control. The girls start becoming in a worried, frantic that the fact that they, what are we supposed to do? We're looking up to you, Faith. But yet you, Faith, you're someone that's kind of looks like you're just making stuff up on the spot. And I'm here thinking, like, these girls should be questioning from the minute they got the powers, why is this happening? Like I said, why is this happening? But no, they don't. They don't question it. They don't do nothing. They just go on their merrily ways like happy little girls. Just going along. Granted though, guys, episode 3, then we start getting introduced to Swim Swim, Tamu, the Peaky Angels, and Lord herself, I'm sorry. And these characters then are actually another magical group that is basically nearby Koyoki's actual residence. And we start learning that it starts becoming a contest, guys. A contest between the magical girls, because Faye then said, in order to not get off the magical girl system, you have to have so many magical candies. So with the one that has the lowest magical candies, you get to be a magical girl. In death. Yeah, guys, because for a fact that the one that has the lowest magical candies, their only option is to die, and that's basically the ranking systems to get rid of the magical girls in a fair system. And I'm thinking, my god, this anime is getting really dark, guys. Really dark. My god. Then we start learning that the magical girls then start actually betraying each other due to the fact that Faye then sends out a message saying that you guys can share candies. And I'm here thinking, what? They couldn't do this before? So then it's actually starts becoming very interesting, the fact that then, like I said, Faye is using scare tactics to manipulate the girls into killing each other, you could kind of say. Slowly but surely, Faye is becoming the antagonist again. I keep telling you guys, he really is. And then we start learning that the girls learned in episode 3 also that Nemu died. When she died, that there's no way getting out of this. And the girls are learning the truth that the game itself is something that is very, 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 very something to not look forward to. They don't know where to go. They just don't know where to go, guys. Granted though, Lord then sets her eyes on Snow White, which is Koyoki Himekawa, because of the fact that she's always the one on the #1 list in the Magical Girl rankings. So then I'm here thinking that Lord herself, sorry Lord, something's bad's gonna happen to you. And while all of this is happening, Koyoki and La Pucelle are all giving themselves major character introductions that's explaining that, you know, we will become Magical Girls because we will always be together. You know, that same cliche trope that La Pucelle always will protect her. And by the way, that's a death flag right there, that he will always protect her. Ooh-wee. Anime logic 101. The character says, I will always protect you and I will stake my life for you. Woo! That character's gonna die soon. Not lying to you guys. That character might die soon. Granted though, then we move on to episode 4, because at the end of episode 3 we start learning that Lord and her posse are then gonna target Koyoki's magical candies. And then from episode 4, guys, we get to the action-oriented episode itself, guys. Episode 4, we start learning that Lord devised a plan to actually capture Koyoki. And Koyoki herself was brought to tears because Swim Swim and Lord went up to Koyoki and actually manhandled her, while the Peaky Angels and Temu distracted La Pucelle away from her. So basically they kind of distracted each other so that way the plan could work. Now Lord's powers is actually based on manipulation and brainwashing. And in episode 4 is basically more about Lord herself. And Lord, guys, I tell you much, Lord is basically all about a woman who has her own dilemmas in her own life. This woman, I grant you not, this woman is someone that you could kind of say hates her life. She works for a job firm that is always overly controlling her. So she plays the magical game to escape the reality that she's in. And I'm thinking, that makes sense, but because she has this overbearing personality, her powers basically grant her the ability to control people, or at least freeze them. And I thought to myself, that's a very powerful ability, but in episode 4, we learned that Lord actually dies in this episode due to the fact that the way that Lord was in all the episodes, she was actually, I would say, interacting with the other characters, Swim Swim, Peaky Angels, and Temu. It was basically Lord's fault for her demise. Because for a fact, like I said, remember, each week the ranking system was going to take out one of the girls, and Lord herself was ranked out because for a fact that Swim Swim was she actually disobeyed Lord's orders. And basically what happened there was Swim Swim, Temu, and Peaky Angels hated Lord. They hated her overbearing attitude, and said, you're the one that should be leaving due to the fact that you're the one that all the magic girls seem to be actually hating on. Like I said, it's a popularity contest, guys. It really is. And all the girls seem to now look at Swim Swim as a leader role. But we also get to look at Swim Swim's characteristics too, guys. In this episode too, we learn that Swim Swim is actually a 5-year-old girl. She really is. And it explains why she's stupid in Lord's eyes, is because she's a young girl. Lord herself is like a 27-year-old woman. So of course she knows what she's doing. She has leadership skills because she's been around the block. But Swim Swim and the rest, they're all young girls. So of course they're kind of like a little ditzy when it comes to facing a lot of dilemmas. But like I said though, guys, it's very interesting as to what is going on. And Swim Swim, guys, was actually saved, or actually say redirected, by Nemu herself. Because back in the previous episodes, Nemu actually visits a child's dream, And this child was saying, I want to be a princess. I want to be a princess like Miss Lord. And Nemu tells her, you could be a princess too. Just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and you will be the princess that you are. And my god, guys, I was mind blown when that happened. I was mind blown. I am not lying to you guys. Because basically Nemu inadvertently saved Koyoki right there and then. Because then Swim and the rest went on to actually then disobey Lord's orders because they stood up for themselves. And the character progression for Swim was becoming more and more prevalent in this episode. And poor Lord, even though it was a lot of people loved her, but she had to go. She had to go, guys. Granted though, that was basically the bulk of episode 4, guys. From there on, we learned that Swim now is a little girl. The Peaky Angels and all of them are now disbanded. And now we are left for us viewers as to what will happen next. What will happen? Even I'm at a loss, guys. Even I'm at a loss. And like I said, that's it for Magical Girl Racing Project review of episode 1 through 4, guys. And like I said, very interesting, very well thought out, guys. And I'm hoping to see more and more of the characters' dilemmas actually unfolding. Because of the fact that we're actually looking at the girls are dying slowly one by one. So we're wondering who is going to be the next character to die, guys. Who really is? But like I said, guys, that's it for today's episode, guys. There was a lot to talk about, guys. A lot to talk about. But let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys think about Magical Girl Racing Project? Are you guys enjoying the views? Are you guys enjoying the woman? Let me know down in the comments below, guys. And as always, guys, if you guys enjoy my content, give a like, comment, share, and subscribe for more fall anime discussions. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day. But this is Mr. Zen, signing out.